Okay, so we are moving to our next talk, and let me invite to our stage our next speaker, Ivan Zvieriev. Ivan, welcome.
Hello.
Hello,
Do you
hello.
hear me
It's
well?
always, yeah, we can hear you, we can see you. And I want to say that it's always pleasure to see speakers from our previous conferences that they are enjoyed being with us and then return with their new talks. So welcome back.
Thank you. And it's actually a pleasure to present on. Sorry, it's autumn.
Yeah,
Uh,
same.
it's pleasure to present once again on Java on. Hope this time will be better.
Well, I would
We'll
say
see
previous
about
time
that.
was awesome, so this time would be better. Okay, we can accept that. Okay, guys. Just a reminder, we collect your questions in YouTube chat and in chat on our community platform. So please put them there. As I showed, I monitor all of them. So just post a question and we'll collect it. And Yeah, I think we will not spend more time. Ivan, stage is yours, and good luck.
Thank you, thank you. Once again, welcome on Java on, and welcome to my talk about why Java, like a good wine, becomes better with age. I was recording a promo video for my talk, and it was very difficult to run around alcoholic theme about wine, but we are speaking that like good wine with the age, yeah, it becomes better, and Java the same. And that's what I'm going to show you why exactly it is like that. And let's go. So my first slide, as usually, is about myself, who I am. I'm almost 8 years already in EPAM. I'm enjoying working on low latency systems and with low level code. Overall, I'm like, I guess now it's even more than 13 years in IT. I'm collecting different hobbies, so it's not that I'm staying with something particular for a long time. I'm father of two boys, and I have a dog and a turtle. That's me. And let's jump to the agenda. So, what we are going to talk today? First of all, we will discuss the difference between development for customers, for business, and for developers. So B2D. The next ways how to maintain JVM platform in a good shape. And then we will go into details. So we will talk about history. Modern days is like, ancient history, then Middle Ages. So history, modern days, and we will glance a little bit into the future. And then we will make some conclusions. Let's start. B2C or B2B versus B2D. So, what is the difference between developing like business applications, like we majority of us do, and products for developers? Means JDK, JVM, I don't know, IDE, whatever tools developers have to develop business applications. In B2B and B2C, there are a couple of things which are quite clearly understandable by business and which are acceptable. For example, everyone knows that adding more functionality and new features, this will bring more clients quickly. Yeah, so you have new feature in your app, the more and more clients you will be able to get. With that comes the cost. Extending the system like always will always give the penalty to your performance. Yeah, once I guess Scott Oaks was writing that every line of your code, yeah, the more code you write, inevitably you will be degrading the performance of your application unless you are doing some special refactoring to improve it. Yeah. The next thing, the code base becomes bigger and maintenance costs increase. So each new feature, everything everything becomes more expensive because your code base became bigger. The same goes with infrastructure costs. Yeah, so the more your application is, the more infra it needs, and the cost is growing. All these things are acceptable by business. Yeah, because actually you compensate it with new clients. Time to market can be mitigated with increasing workforce. Okay, we need something faster, 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 more. We just hire more developers and we are good. With B2D, whole previous slide is not acceptable. Uh, so with every new release, with every new version of your product, like Java, let's take Java, yeah, it constantly, in every Java version, it provides new features, yeah, but at the same time, we expect that every new version will be more performant than the previous one. And it will be more it will consume less memory. It will improve your costs like on infrastructure. Yeah. So actually, you need some arguments to business why you should upgrade your smoothly working Java 8 version to something new. And if you say that, oh, we will be able to use var keyword and at the same time, our performance will drop by 5% and memory, memory means like infrastructure in the background will increase, uh, business will say, well, we don't need maybe new versions. Yeah, maybe we can live without var keyword. So for B2D, it doesn't work. And there are several ways to mitigate those problems. So the first way is to improve the existing code base and libraries. Yeah. So let's take a famous example of hash map. Yeah. Initially, the collision resolution was like linked list inside the bucket. Yeah. And this led to the fact that extraction from hash map, in worst case scenario, imagine that all elements put in the hash map went into the same bucket, was linear. And then later it was improved. It was like refactored to be the tree set under the hood, and it became logarithmic. Yeah. So existing libraries, existing code base, which you as a developer doesn't feel on your own skin. You don't need to do any modification, any changes. They can become better. The second thing, make the platform smarter and more performant. Means that JVM, like it has like not thousand, but hundreds of JVM flags. Uh, and each of them means something. Yeah, so the platform itself can become more smart and more performant. Java specifically, garbage collection was always a pain point in Java, and we will see during throughout the history how garbage collection was evolving in Java and how much focus Java brings to this topic. Last but not least, yeah, you need to remove redundancies. So some things, for example, let's take applets, yeah, which were a thing somewhere in 2000, I don't know, 5 maybe. Now, like applets are not used, so maybe it's time to get rid of them, yeah, from JVM, from JDK, um, and there are more of that. We will see further. Last example of this difference is a little bit controversial, I would say, but I will try to make it as straight as possible. So, 5 years ago, IntelliJ was, let's say, it didn't have real alternatives. Yeah, there were several people's, like some percentage of people who were still sticking with Eclipse. There were still some small percentage of people who are working in Vim or I don't know, Emacs, no mouse coding. But a real alternative to IntelliJ, it just didn't exist. Now, VS Code is a real alternative. I'm not saying that it is better. I'm saying that it became competitor. And why IntelliJ has allowed, let's say, such a competitor to appear on horizon in such a short period of time. My personal experience was that IntelliJ, like it was just recently, yeah, I have both on my home machine, which is very powerful. I have both IntelliJ and VS Code, but mainly I'm working now with VS Code, and the reason is that recently I had to switch from brand new MacBook to a little bit not deprecated, but like 3 or 4 years old HP. And I've noticed that some things in IntelliJ are very heavy. Yeah, indexing is taking too long for big projects. Sometimes it's like it's loading for a longer time. VS Code for me works much faster. So the reason why VS Code became a real competitor, I'm not saying that it became like replacement or it took like I it's intentionally I didn't check what is the market share right now between IntelliJ and VS Code, but 5 years ago, VS Code was not a real competitor for Java development. Now it is. And the reason is not in the features, not in the new like cool stuff which were added in VS Code and which are not present in IntelliJ. In IntelliJ we have like I guess everything we have in VS Code and even more. The reason was in this heaviness. Yeah. So this is what I was speaking in B2D, is that you cannot allow yourself in B2D environment deliver less and less performant solution with every new version. That was to conclude and to prove my point. I hope I did. And now let's get to history. So I wanted to gather like historical Java versions, which I like. I take like before Java 8, it's like ancient times. Yeah. Then from Java 8 to Java 17, it's like middle age, and let's say now it's after everything after Java 17. So I tried to do a one-liner for every Java version based on the most well um, well-known feature. Yeah, so Java 5 was kind of concurrency and generics Java. Yeah. Java 6, who cares? I don't even remember what was in Java 6. Java 7 is try with resources Java. Yeah, so I don't remember any other features from Java 7 now as well. Java 8, of course, it's streams and lambdas Java. And one important point to mention here, Java 8 was released in 2014. I remember the days when on technical interviews I was asked like, Ivan, did you try already some features from Java 8? And I was answering, no, not yet. I still working on Java 7 and I didn't have time to try it. And now we have already, I guess, a generation of developers who even didn't see anything before Java 8 in production. Java 9, Jigsaw, modules Java. Again, I can't recap anything like important from Java 9. From Java 10, I remember var keyword. From Java 11, I don't remember any particular feature from Java 11. That's why I just know that it's good LTS Java, which is run in a lot of projects as a main, let's say, locomotive. Yeah. Java 12 was what I remember was switch expressions. In Java 13, we have received string literals. In Java 14, we have received records in the first glance. Then in Java 15, it was sealed classes, but I'm not sure that even like this string literals and sealed classes that I would be very much aware which in which version has appeared. So after Java 8, I would say that no like good one-liner exists, but I tried to come up with something. And Java 16 was another record Java when records became production ready and we could use them in prod. So this was one-liners. And now we will go to the things starting from Java 8. I will not go to Java 5 or Java 7. We will go to things which some people, of course, they notice it because they regularly read the release notes. They are aware of all the changes which are going into every JDK. I hope you are this kind of developer, not like me, that I'm just like scrolling news quickly. Um, so we will recap what was in Java 8, except of streams and lambdas. Yeah. Datetime API. Despite many people say that, yeah, there was like also some datetime API, yet it is a new era in Java when datetime API when the language received a good datetime API. I remember in Java when I was studying, the good practice which was mentioned by all the teachers was like, don't use Java datetime API, use, for example, Yoda time, use some external libraries, but don't use internal datetime API as it is not good. Can you imagine that, like a production language which is running on like billions of devices didn't have its own good datetime API? It had like this Gregorian calendar or whatever, but no one was really using them. In prod, there was like Yoda time was kind of industrial standard. Also, not very many people remember times before G1, but actually it was introduced in Java 8 first. It was not, it didn't become a default garbage collector immediately, but introduced it was in Java 8. Hash map internals will not go into details. I discussed it a little bit before. Once again, G1 was introduced. I guess I just don't repeat yourself. You know, everyone now and then needs to repeat to remind himself good practices. Also, what was important, parent was removed. Yeah, so it was replaced with metaspace, and it was very significant change for internals of Java. Now our jigsaw Java. What important updates it received internally, yeah, and which are not very much advertised. So from Java 9, G1 became default GC. So if you run your application without any parameters, you will be running G1 instead of parallel old garbage collector. JavaDB was removed from JDK. Me personally, I never touched JavaDB. I don't even know what this model is, but let's say it was a thing for a couple of versions of Java, I guess. From this version, it was decided that there is no sense to maintain it anymore. JShell was introduced. I wouldn't say that I find very much usage of this tool. Actually, I never open it, to be honest. But every language here and there, I mean, take any has some shell. Yeah, so before Java 9, it was not present in Java. Just from the perspective of competition on the market, it's a good move. Also, ahead of time compilation was introduced. I remember how many talks were about ahead of time, and a lot of people were betting that it's a future of Java. As we will see later, this bet didn't pay off too much. Still, people are using GRAL. Yeah, I know that it is used in production, etc. But um let's say the hype which was around AOT at that time and the real outcome didn't match. Also, compact strings were delivered. So strings started from Java 9 to take less memory. Going next to our Java 10 and my, let's say, the most controversial feature in Java with var, and this meme actually represents it. What was in Java 10 except of var? Parallel full GC for G1. So full GC in G1 was done differently in previous versions. From Java 10, it became even more performant due to parallelization during full GC. Removed Java H model. Who has heard about it? I guess not much. I also don't know what this model is, but it was removed. Long live Java. Java. Class data sharing. Actually, very interesting feature, and I guess we will see some more of it in future. Actually, starting from Java 10, every JVM on your machine can share data metadata of the classes, of common classes which they are using. And this helps to reduce the memory footprint of your application if it is needed. So there will be one mentioning of that in later version. We will come to it. Next, finally, not finally, but the first, let's say, after Java 8 LTS version, Java 11. And this meme actually represents one of the features which was present in previous versions, but you needed to enable commercial features to use flight recorder. Uh, from my perspective, as a person who likes to deal with Java performance, flight recorder is absolutely necessary tool. And in Java 11, we received it in JDK package, and we can use it for free. Previously, I was also using it. I was like enabling commercial features. I didn't know what consequences I can have. As you see, I'm here with you, so no serious consequences happened. Uh, Starting from Java 11, a new era in garbage collection started. Actually, ZGC was first introduced in Java 11. And this is already like my time when I'm still thinking that ZGC is experimental because it was already introduced when I was quite into the industry, and I still treat it as experimental. But as we will see in future, it's already like fully production ready. And Epsilon GC actually was introduced, and this is garbage collector, which maybe majority of you doesn't use in production. It actually doesn't collect any garbage. It just crashes your application when it runs out of memory. You will think that why do we need this? This is a very useful thing which we were missing actually in one of my projects, which was working on Java 7, which was very low latency, and we couldn't afford garbage collector. So we wanted to completely eliminate garbage collection process from application run, but it was not possible. At least one garbage collector needs to be enabled, at least serial. Yeah. So we were writing the whole code not to trigger it, but still garbage collector needs to be applied to your application, and it still consumes some resources. Epsilon doesn't consume any resources, and it will just crash JVM in case you run out of memory. There was also introduced a new HTTP client API in Java 11. Java 12. We continue an era of extending garbage collector, and new one more low latency Java collector was introduced, Shenandoah, again as an experimental one at that time. And I still treat it as experimental, despite it's already production ready in latest versions of Java. There were some significant improvements in G1 Mate, and for performance guys, GMH was introduced. So actually, I guess the biggest author of Java 12 was Alexei Shepelov, because he is author of both Shenandoah and GMH. Java 13, 14, I decided not to split because there were not that many features worth mentioning. But actually, CMS garbage collector was a garbage collector, and we need to go deeper. So CMS garbage collector was a thing before G1. It promised a lot, but in fact it didn't deliver. So in one of these versions, it was removed completely from support, and starting from Java 15, you cannot already run CMS even if you want to. ZGC was ported, I would say, to be able to work on Windows and Mac OS. So earlier versions, for example, like Java 11, if you run Java 11 on Windows servers, you will not be able to use ZGC. Maybe it was backported. I'm not sure now, but support of Windows and Mac OS operating systems was introduced only in these versions of Java. One also like not very hyped feature, but which I consider very, very important, is improved null pointer exceptions. Yeah, so the information which is coming now from NPEs is much more debugging friendly, or yeah, reader friendly. GFR, Java Flight Recorder, event streaming was introduced. Java 15. This is a meme about UDP, because actually datagram socket was refactored. It was re-implemented, so you don't need to change anything in your code. You use datagram socket as you were doing previously. Now it will be better. Who does remember? I remember the name, because like when I was on Java 6 and 7, people were asking, do you know about biased locking, how it is working? I was intentionally reading about that. It was somehow connected to concurrency, but I don't remember details right now. So it was finally disabled and deprecated. So no bias locking starting from Java 15. And actually, this was like when I was preparing, I guess, previous presentation, it was surprise for me that like ZGC and Shenandoah became production ready. So both of those garbage collectors you can use already in production. They are not experimental, no preview, full size GC. Yeah, GC on those collectors. Java 16, mainly like technical release, I would say. They have finally migrated OpenJDK from Mercurial to Git and to GitHub. Also, they added some strong encapsulation to JDK internals, and ZGC introduced a new like internal thing, concurrent thread state processing, which made ZGC even better than it was before. Now memes are over. Serious stuff starts. Modern days. everything Java 7, 17, and afterwards. I must confess, I'm a little bit sloppy. So when I started to guess one-liners for the versions, I realized that I went fell a little behind, yeah, and I didn't know what actually went uh, live in those versions because I'm still not on those. Uh, so one-liners for me looked like that. That Java 17 was like LTS version, just like Java 11, very strong one, no features. Starting from Java 18, we started to wait for virtual threads, yeah. And in Java 19, we finally received virtual threads in first preview. Uh, in Java 20, we received second preview, and in Java 21, finally LTS and Project Loom went live, production ready. We can use virtual threads, which was expected long ago, as with the appearance of Kotlin coroutines, they became kind of game changer, and Java required something lightweight. And here we go, virtual thread. Java 22 and 23 was complete mystery for me. So let's go to each version in details. It appeared that Java 17 brought actually a couple of interesting changes. And the one I specifically put the links here so you can open JEPs and read, because it was just very interesting reading for me. As a developer, yeah, it doesn't bring any practical application to your daily job, but it's very interesting reading. So floating point strict semantic actually was returned to Java. So in Java 2, it appeared that there were some processors which were not able to comply with strict floating point semantics. That's why Java, starting from Java 2, implemented two floating point semantics. One is strict, one is non-strict. And in Java 17, people realized that actually those processors are long time ago gone, and this problem doesn't exist anymore. So we are returning back to floating point strict semantics. Enhancing pseudo-random generators. Actually, not the no, there are several classes which were improved, and this is feature which you will get for free. Yeah, so if you are actively using random number generators in your application, just upgrading to Java 17 will bring you to a new level. Yeah, and actually very interesting JEP to read. Uh, Coming back to applet API, and this is going in ensemble with deprecating security manager, because security manager was guarding applet client code, I guess. And it was decided that the time has passed. Applets are gone, long live applets. We don't have them anymore. There was also removed RMI activation package and experimental ahead of time compiler together with JIT, but not that JIT. There was also experimental Java-based JIT, which was also removed and deprecated. The reasoning was simple, like they didn't pay off the expectations, yeah, and the maintenance will be more expensive. So as you can see, Java 17 mainly removed a lot of things. Java 18, UTF-8 by default, also very interesting job to read. So actually all JDK internals now UTF-8 by default. Interesting feature, which is not advertised. Code snippets in Java docs. So now you can make Java docs more user-friendly, I would say. Uh, Core reflection was re-implemented. There is a new address resolution API, and finally, pun intended, finalization was deprecated. So from the very beginning of times, using finalizers was a bad practice. I know in details why, uh, but finally it was like deprecated completely. Java 19 and 20. Actually, there are two things which I want to mention. It's a cheating a little bit. This is not the features which you will get for free. I mean, you will need to implement those, but very interesting, and I wanted to mention them. It's structured concurrency and foreign functions and memory API. These two things, also, I put the links to JEPs here because very interesting reading, and structured concurrency is to me, it looks like a new approach to concurrency in general. Uh, please read about this. It's really worth reading. Scoped values were introduced and virtual threads continued like to incubate in those versions, and Java 21 LTS, and finally we got virtual threads. Yeah, of course, not for free again. There is nothing that you need to do modifications to your code to actually fill virtual threads. You need to start writing virtual threads. But I guess this is really something worth mentioning as a new era in Java. As I was mentioning previously, yeah, Kotlin with its coroutines and lightweight concurrency made a very strong competition to Java, and is making still, and it's growing from my perspective. Uh, Very well deserved, but Java tries to keep on, and Project Loom finally have seen its production ready state. Sequence collections were introduced, generational ZGC, so you see that garbage collection still now it's not that, let's say, that much focus on it as in previous versions, but still people continue working on them, and this is something new which improved ZGC even further, and deprecated Windows 32-bit x86 architecture. Yeah, so uh, it doesn't seem to have a lot of production application. Java 22 and 23. I also combined them together, and also some of the things you will notice just out of the box. Some of them you will need to implement, like statements before super. So actually, it will change a lot of it can change like structure of how you are writing the constructor. So it's very important change which I wanted to bring to light. You see that the work on G1 also still continues. So ZGC was not a replacement for G1. They are just developed in parallel. We received primitive types and patterns, instance of and switch. Generational mode of ZGC, which previously we got, it was enabled by special flag. Now it is enabled by default. And some of the deprecated methods, in particular memory access methods in Sun Miscan Safe, were removed or deprecated. Now, very quick glance to a future and conclusions. So that's a joke. Actually, you see that even the font is different from my whole presentation. I found this joke just today, and I really think that it's very good. And good, I will explain why. Java is like memory leak. Yeah, it starts off slow, but eventually your memory is gone. So there are two problems which I hear from the very beginning of Java: the slow startup time and a big memory footprint. So there are currently there are projects which are currently in development in Java ecosystem. Project Lilliput. Actually, it's going to reduce the header size first to 64 bits and then to 32 bits, which will, I think, significantly reduce the memory footprint and solve one of the jokes problems. Yeah. And the second is Project Leiden. Actually, again, my favorite, this is the person who I admire from performance perspective, how well he knows all the stuff in JVM. Alexei Shepelov is one of the people who is working on Project Leiden. They are going to speed up Java startup time. More of that, not only just a startup time, but also a warm-up time. So I'm just curious how they are going to achieve that. We will see. Project, I call it Project Crack, but I guess it's CRAC. It's a project which primary goal is to preserve your JVM state after it was closed. So you can start your JVM from the moment, exactly like with memory, with all collections, all the stuff populated, at the moment of crash or shutdown. Project Babylon and Panama, I'm not very much familiar with. It's connected with foreign functions, at least Babylon, this for sure. We don't have time to speak about everything, and we are actually running out of it. So let's go to conclusions. Summary. We mentioned in the beginning several ways how Java, as a good wine, becomes better with time. Yeah. So what was refactored starting from Java 8? Yeah, it was hash map. It was pseudo-random number generators, floating point semantics, reflection, strings, NPEs, datagram socket, and this is not all, of course. I just mentioned here on presentation only the main, let's say, significant changes. There are a lot of changes which are happening like with every release, which we just don't notice. What was removed or deprecated? It's security manager, it's applet API, it's finalization, some methods in unsafe, CMS garbage collector, ahead of time compilation and Java-based JIT, RMI activation, biased locking, JavaDB. I guess also that's not exhaustive list. And platform improvements. Like for a lot of people who started not so long ago, this seems to be that this is coming from granted. Yeah, I started on JVM where even G1 was not present. Yeah, so parallel old was or CMS at that time was like the most progressive garbage collector. So we've got 4 new. This is like super minimum. I mean, there were more commercial. Yeah, I quite sure that in some commercial JVMs we will see other garbage collectors which are worth mentioning. But G1, ZGC, Epsilon, Shenandoah introduced JFR, UTF-8 by default, uh, this PermGem to Metaspace switch, and JShell, which still I don't use, but still this is a platform improvements. And there are a lot more which are kind of JVM flags, uh, which are improved from version to version. So guys, that's actually these 3 slides is the reason why Java as a good wine, become better and better with every release, even if you are not using its most hyped and recent features. That's it from me. I'm open to questions.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much for such inspirational talk. I have a couple comments from my side. So, coming back to the slide where you do one-liners for each Java, you mentioned like something for each Java. Back in time, I started working with Java 6, and for me, one-liner for Java 7 is Ruby operator, not try with resources, but Ruby operator, because in Java 6 we
Yes.
had to write like list array list of string equals new array list of string blah blah blah. So with Java 7 we can omit this type on the right side, and it was like finally.
I didn't realize. I thought that it's diamond operator, and I was like,
Diamond, sorry, the diamond operator, yeah.
Ruby is also fine. Yeah, it looks even more like Ruby, but
Yeah, it's diamond operator, sorry, my bad.
that's true. True.
I
True.
lost in translation between languages. So yeah. So for me, this is the one liner for Java 7. And try resources. Yeah, there was try with resources as well, something like this, as you mentioned.
Roman, can you imagine that at one technical interview, I was given like a Maven directory with some files, and like, Ivan, you need to fix this bug, you need like the descriptions. I opened it and I realized that I cannot read this code because it was written. I was like, what is that? And they are saying it's in Java 4, and in Java 4 there were no generics. Can you now imagine the live without generics? I failed this interview because I couldn't properly. I was young that time. I mean, young in industry, let's say. But uh, for me, it was like a shock to see
Yeah,
to see
I can
non-generic
understand.
code.
Yeah, a lot of objects and instance of. Yeah, back
Yes.
with that. Okay, so coming back to the question. So yeah, November here. So saying to have some connections between talks. So you mentioned virtual threads, which appears in Java 21. So guys, on day 3, on Thursday, we would have a talk about virtual threads. So if you want to dive deeper in this topic, join us, and we will have more about that. So the most,
I
yeah,
will actually, because I was afraid that there will come a question about virtual threads, and I'm like, I didn't try them yet.
yeah, that's true. So the most important questions first. So you mentioned that. So you received this question. What is the breed of your turtle?
What
What is the
what
breed
is
of your turtle?
it's red-eared turtle. It means that it can live
Mm,
on the ground and in the water. So basically,
okay.
let's say if this is important, she travels around the flat during 2 weeks. Then I put her in a box with the water, drop some food, she eats, I then take it out, and it works for 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the most important question. Now we come to less important questions about Java. So, yeah. So first question is your opinion. Does foreign function and memory API from Java 22 help Java to get rid of the GNI and start to replace Python wrappers for efficient C++ code in AI tools, for example?
We will see about that. I've read a little bit about these foreign functions. I still see that you know GNI in general is not that, let's say, industry broad. It's very niche thing, uh, and currently I want to see how it will develop, because on these early stages, speaking about features like it was with ahead of time compilation, a lot of people thought that it will solve all the problems with Java performance which they had. Yeah, we compile in advance, but it appeared that just-in-time compiler work, I mean, produces even more performant code that ahead-of-time compiler can make. Yeah, and that's why I guess still, for people who are working with such low-level things, having one more additional like opportunity is a good thing. Uh, will it solve the problem which JNIs currently have? Uh, we will see. It will still be not the like the practice for everyone. Yeah, which everyone can do. I never write something has written anything in GNI. So you did?
Yeah, I did. It's incredible crap.
Okay. Well,
Well, yeah. So I
that's why I didn't.
yeah, so I can say well, this was the way, the same as you mentioned in Java 4 to write without generics. So I do hope that foreign functions will help us to build yet another layer of connection between Java and other languages. Just a reminder, we have GraalVM, which also is should help us like overcome this silos, I would say. So yeah, I would join Ivan here. That we'll see. Like I also waiting for to try that. Okay, another question. Also, like as you said, as Java is becoming good as a good old wine. So, what do you think? Will Java stay among top three languages?
Is it now still in among top three?
That's a good question, by the way. So I can check right now the last JetBrains survey. So let me check.
Let me
JetBrains.
guess. Kotlin is on the first place.
No.
I'm
They
joking. Joking.
do really state of development ecosystem. So they are honest in that. So from the last year, from 2023, JavaScript is on the first place, Python second, then HTML, CSS, SQL, let's say splitting the fourth place, and then Java. So Java is top five language, not top three, but top five. And then
I
there
will
is a
say
huge gap before all the rest.
my opinion is that Java is not going anywhere. Will it stay in top three? We will see. I see that in this, as we have agreed now, top five. Uh, let's say if we talk about short term, Java is not going to give its place because it still runs on too many applications right now. If we look in the longer perspective and see how JetBrains is developing Kotlin and how Kotlin is growing in popularity, and I actually currently work in Kotlin as well, and I would say that it can create a good competition in JVM-based languages. So I don't see any other language from JVM infrastructure, let's say JVM-based languages, which can replace Java, except for Kotlin. Kotlin can at least take a good share of. But if we sum up Java plus Kotlin, I would say that 5-10 years, if something like maybe tomorrow LLM will write a new perfect programming language which will replace all other programming languages. I don't know. In this world I cannot be sure in anything, but I believe that Java plus Kotlin together they will be in top five, definitely.
Okay, so we are being corrected. So we are looking at JetBrains state of development survey, but according to TIOB index, Java is on the third place. So Python's first, C++ second, Java is third. Uh, Well, I would say it's up to you guys which index or which survey to believe. In this case, yeah, we can discuss stuff, but I think Ivan's answer is still valid for both cases. Um, okay, let me. Yeah, so we have one more question. Yeah, your talk is kind of philosophical, so that's why we have philosophical questions on that. So, questions about Java certification. What are your thoughts on Java certification? And there is a new one for OCP 21. And maybe if you can have some recommendation on which certification to pass, if any, right now. So, what would it be?
Okay. I have very mixed opinion about that. First of all, let's start from the fact that I don't have any certificate, not a single one from Java, so I didn't pass it. Not because I consider them useless. I just don't have time because the preparation for OCP, OCA, I just don't see the point of coming OCA and get OCA for myself and not receiving further like OCP, etc., etc. But at some point, I wanted to pass this certification, and I was preparing. I guess it was for Java 8 at that time. Uh, and I would say that it strongly structures your knowledge about the language. Because in majority of life, yeah, when we are writing the code for our production systems, we are using all the stuff again and again and again. We are using already the same patterns, etc. And we don't remember what is in the language itself. Yeah, we just forget about other things which are still yet in the language. Maybe you don't even need them. So for production things, like back then, I remember that this question, what does volatile keyword mean? It was a brain crusher, let's say, for a lot of people on interview, and only few, like I received like two or three full answers. Yeah, because volatile also prevents some JIT operations reordering inside the method, so the operations before and after cannot be mixed. And do you really need to know that about JIT optimization? Because for majority of the let's be realistic, yeah, majority of applications are not performance demanding. Let's say our hardware and JVM platform can provide everything out of the box, just write good code and it will work and it will be totally fine. If you want, so answering like directly on the question, if you want very good structured knowledge uh, on the language, theoretical background, then I recommend preparing. I'm not sure even if you need to pass the exam and take the certificate, because like certificates are good. Yeah, I mean, but for me, certificate will not show anything. Like when the person is saying I have like 10 certificates on Java, I'm asking him to reverse string me in IntelliJ, and this will show me a little bit like I think I will understand the person better when I see how or like do some basic operation. So for theoretical and for structuring, yes. For certificate per se,
I can only agree with what you mentioned. I am certified on OCP for Java 6. And I do remember, like, I prepared, and I do agree that this is preparation itself helps structure knowledge. And when I passed the exam, I came to work, say, "Hey, I passed exam," and one of my colleagues told me, like, you know that the thing that you have certification means only that you have time to pass certification. I was like, okay, thank you very much. But yeah, again, as I do agree with the one here that it really helps to structure knowledge during the preparation. So this is good to. There are books which you can just go through and collect all these tricky cases inside Java. So, because basically certification is speaking about corner cases of using different features and how they would interact with each other. So doing the preparation will really help you um, to structure your knowledge. We have a question in one of the chats about libraries or frameworks for AI in Java. So for this one, I would keep this question not for Ivan, but for tomorrow. We have Przemyslav talk about the AI libraries, so we will discuss a lot about it tomorrow. So please stay tuned. Yeah, okay. So we are out of time, and Ivan, I want to thank you very much for your talk, for such a good overview, sorry guys, for all these years about Java. And yeah, as I was saying, Java is on, Java is still alive, Java is still with us, and this is really promising. So Ivan, thank you very much for your really inspirational talk.
Guys, thank you very much for having me. And I hope to see you back here in 2025.
Let's see. Let's see how it will go. We do hope. So thank you very much. See you. Bye bye.
Bye.